Why is making your first million so brutally hard, but the second feels almost effortless? It's not just numbers in a bank account. It's the years of silent struggle, the sleepless nights where you wonder if you're good enough, the voice inside your head that whispers, maybe you're just not meant for this. It's battling fear, rejection, and the weight of every sacrifice you've made. Missing birthdays, skipping vacations, putting dreams on hold. The first million demands everything. It tests your discipline, your patience, your will to keep going when nothing's working. But here's the truth. Once you break through that wall, something shifts. If you believe financial freedom should be for everyone, not just the lucky few, hit that subscribe button, because this story is about turning the impossible into inevitable. Section 1. The psychology of the first million. The road to your first million isn't paved with gold. It's littered with doubt. At the starting line, you're not just broke, you're mentally blocked. You look at wealthy people and wonder, what do they know that I don't? That's imposter syndrome whispering in your ear, convincing you that success is for others, not you. You have no safety net. One wrong move and it all crashes down. You can't afford to make mistakes, but you make them anyway, because mistakes are part of the game. Every failed pitch, every bad investment, every setback isn't just a loss, it's a lesson. The first million feels impossible because you're building everything from scratch. Skills, habits, networks, belief. You're learning how to sell, how to lead, how to think in decades, not days. You're getting used to being uncomfortable. You're mastering the art of staying calm in chaos. And through all this, you're becoming someone else. Someone who doesn't panic under pressure. Someone who doesn't flinch at failure. Someone who starts to see money, not as a miracle, but as a muscle you've trained to grow. The first million isn't earned, it's forged. Section 2. The road to the first million. Most journeys to the first million don't start with a winning lottery ticket. They start with a 9-to-5 and a dream. You're working a job that barely pays the bills, but something inside refuses to settle. So you start small, a freelance gig, a weekend hustle, maybe flipping products online. At first it feels like pennies, but you're not chasing quick cash. You're building momentum. You begin developing habits that compound over time. Waking up early, reading books instead of scrolling, tracking every dollar, saving consistently, investing wisely, saying no to things that don't align. Discipline becomes your currency. You're not just working more, you're working smarter. Take Jan Koum, for example, the co-founder of WhatsApp. He grew up in a small apartment in Ukraine, shared with no running water. He cleaned grocery store floors as a teen, but he kept learning, coding, building. Years later, he sold WhatsApp to Facebook for $19 billion. But this isn't just his story. It's anyone's who refuses to quit. Because the road to your first million is messy. It's filled with rejection, boredom, and slow growth. But every dollar earned, every sacrifice made, it stacks. And one day, you look up, and you're not scraping by anymore. You're scaling. Section 3. The tipping point. Momentum and confidence. Something shifts when you hit that first million, not just in your wallet, but in your mind. You start to believe, not in theory, but in proof. You've done it once, and suddenly the mountain doesn't look so high anymore. That deep-rooted fear of failure, it fades, replaced by calm, quiet confidence. Now you're not chasing opportunities, you're choosing them. Your risks are no longer desperate swings in the dark. They're calculated, measured, backed by experience and intuition, sharpened by years of trial and error. And then comes the network. Doors that were once slammed shut, now open. People who ignored your calls start sending you invitations. Access multiplies. Mentors, partnerships, investors. You're not walking alone anymore. You're walking with a team, a tribe, a community that speaks the language of scale. Momentum takes over. And with it, you realize the secret no one told you at the start. Making the first million is personal, but making the second? That's strategy. Section 4. Why the second million is inevitable. The second million doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working differently. By now, you've built systems. The grind that once drained you is now automated. You've learned to delegate. You've hired people smarter than you. Your time, the most valuable currency, is finally being spent where it matters most. Strategy, vision, expansion. And here's the magic. Money begins to earn money. Your first million was a shovel. Now it's a machine. Investments, real estate, dividends, online products, they're working while you sleep. You're no longer trading hours for dollars. You're creating assets that never punch out. You've also mastered skill stacking, sales, marketing, leadership, tech. You've built a toolbox that compounds. You're no longer guessing your way forward. You know what works. You've felt failure, dissected it, learned from it. And most importantly, you've found leverage. Leverage in people, leverage in platforms, leverage in automation. What once took 10 hours now takes 10 minutes. What once required 100 calls now takes one email blast. That's why the second million isn't a dream. It's a consequence, a natural result of systems, capital, and confidence compounding together. You've stopped surviving. Now, you're scaling effortlessly. Section 5. Common myths and mistakes. One of the biggest lies out there? You have to be lucky or born rich to make millions. It's comforting to believe success is reserved for the elite, but it's not true. Look closer and you'll see the patterns. Relentless effort, learning from failure, long-term thinking. Luck may open a door, but discipline walks you through it. But here's where many fall. Right after their first win, they hit a big payday and lose focus. Overspending, chasing validation, abandoning the very habits that got them there. Success becomes a drug, and they forget the first million was the foundation, not the finish line. Then there's the trend chasers. They jump from crypto to drop shipping to the next hot stock, always hunting shortcuts. Rarely building anything real, but true wealth isn't built on hype. It's built on value. Solve problems, serve people, stay consistent. Because the people who go from 1 million to 10 aren't faster or smarter. They're steadier. The world doesn't reward noise. It rewards value. Section 6. Lessons from real millionaires. The millionaires who make it to the second million don't rely on luck. They build habits that set them apart. The consistent practice of reading, learning, and seeking mentors is at the core of their success. They understand that knowledge isn't just power, it's leverage. The habits they develop shape not just their businesses, but their mindset. Whether it's waking up at 5 a.m. to read, staying up late to write, or dedicating hours to solving problems, these habits compound over time, leading to greater wealth. Take Elon Musk, for example. After selling PayPal, he didn't sit back on his fortune. Instead, he poured everything into Tesla and SpaceX, knowing full well it could all fail. His secret was a willingness to learn from mistakes, invest in bold ideas, and surround himself with people who believed in the vision. Oprah Winfrey followed a similar path. Her early struggles led her to build an empire based on authenticity and hard work. Her focus wasn't on the next quick win, but on creating value that would last for decades. The key takeaway from these real-life case studies? Success isn't about one massive breakthrough. It's about repetition, the willingness to fail, learn, and rise again. Wealth is built on consistent, intelligent actions, not just one-time luck. The real journey begins after 1 million. Reaching your first million is an incredible accomplishment, but it's not the end of the story. In fact, it's only the beginning. You see, the real journey isn't just about the money, it's about the person you become along the way. The first million isn't just a financial milestone, it's a transformation. You step into a new identity, one that's shaped by resilience, discipline, and a mindset that's learned to thrive under pressure. You've been tested, pushed to the edge, and through it all, you've grown stronger. But the second million? That's where the magic happens. It's not a struggle anymore. It's momentum. It's the result of everything you've built, all the systems, the habits, the smart decisions that keep stacking. The fear fades and confidence takes over. You've done the hard part, and now the wheels are in motion. Remember, the first million builds you. The second? That's just momentum. So don't stop here, because once you've unlocked the secrets to the first million, the rest is inevitable. And if you're willing to keep building, the possibilities are limitless.